Hey guys, what's going on? Today, we're going to be talking about something we've talked about before. It's knowing your location, but we're going to take a little deeper dive and as to why you need the location. And this whole episode is going to be about giving your location to 911. You think, man, that's boring. I already know how to do that. But do you really? It's something that 911 dispatchers ask for the very first question on every single call. And that's all fine and good. You may know your home address, but even in a panic, sometimes you'll blank and it's fine that you know your home address, but what about a highway, park, your friend's house, your work? There's places that people just draw a blank and really don't know where they're at. And something like this can get you help seconds, sometimes even minutes faster, which can be in an emergency. It can feel like a long time and sometimes can mean the difference between life and death. So there's three main points or three main areas that we're going to focus on here as far as getting closer to your location. So I want you to think of it like a dartboard. You want to try and get as close to the bullseye as you can. So number one is going to be your general area, knowing the city you're in, the county you're in, or the general right area. Now, this is kind of already done for you. When you call 911, if you don't have a disconnected cell phone, if you're not calling from a voice over IP phone, and if the cell phone towers are working for you that day, this will be done for you. It'll get you to the correct location that you're in if you're calling from the location you're at. Now, if you're calling for someone that's miles away, you definitely want to know the city or county or both that they are in. Know where they are at. Number two, this is more of the specific address. This is a street number or street number or name and kind of the mailbox number that they're at or the exact location. Even a block number I would even include in this general section, kind of a little bit closer over a ring. And number three is going to be the exact spot. So this could also be, like I said, the very specific mailbox number at this house. Sometimes even includes a house description. But this one is when you're on the side of a road or when you're inside of a specific building or in a specific suite in the building, this is going to be not even just the address. This is where you're at the location. This is going to be the most accurate in what you need to tell people or tell 911 where you are. So let's say you're in a big parking lot. You give the address 123 Main Street. That covers 10 acres and five different buildings. It's possible, especially in larger areas and especially in like metroplex areas. These complexes, take for instance a mall. Let's take DFW Galleria Mall. Massive, 3 floors, probably covers, I would say, at least 5 acres worth of space, hundreds of businesses. I'm at the Galleria Mall. Awesome. We're at the Galleria Mall. So things like that are kind of what makes a difference sometimes. Don't just say I'm in the parking lot, give a landmark. Say I'm in row let's use the Walmart example here. I'm at Walmart, I'm in row 10 towards the front of the row. So now the responders can look for row 10, drive up closer to the front of the store, and that's exactly where you're going to be. They're not going to have to, hey, I'm at Walmart, and you don't give any further, or you're not able to give any further. And so that's going to take several seconds for them to drive from one end of the parking lot to the other, especially if people, we all know how drivers be anyway, but Walmart drivers are special. We all know that, and we all deal with it all the time. What can be specific about that also is even if you don't know a row, I'm at the Walmart parking lot close to the gas pumps, or I'm at the Walmart parking lot next to the McDonald's sign or on the pharmacy side. Things like that can also help you get a little bit closer. Pro tip number two, decoding highways and mile markers. Highway emergencies are some of the toughest because they often aren't specific with their addresses. All you have is mile markers to work off of. And then even then, you have to know what direction you're headed, eastbound, westbound, or if you're around interstates or highways that go north and south, you got to know if you're north or southbound. Things like that are things that you want to know whenever you're traveling on a highway. So your first thing is to know what highway you're on. It's Interstate 5, know that you're on Interstate 5. If it's I-20, know you're on I-20. And you want to pay attention to your mile markers and exits. The exits usually follow mile markers. So let's say you're on I-5 northbound, you're going to be at mile marker 147 near the Anderson Road exit. So you're at the exit. Let's say you're at the exit for Anderson Road, and that exit is exit number 147, and you're about 100 yards from it. Tell the dispatcher that. Tell them where you're at and tell them that you're northbound and that you're pulled off to the right side of the road. Because things on highways can happen at any speed and send you off in any direction, and you could end up on the left side, the right side, in the median, off to the side of the exit, in between the exit and the highway. You can end up anywhere. So be a little more specific when you call in on highway things too. And the main thing is a lot of calls I take on the highway, they don't even know what highway they're on. They don't even know which way they're headed. I'll say, for instance, if I say, "Are you northbound or southbound?" I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. I'm not from here. That's all fine and dandy, but you need to know what direction you're headed, and you should probably know what road you're on. So sometimes I'll even kind of try and help out and say, the city that's to the north, are you headed towards this city or are you headed to the city that's to the south? Um, I'm just not giving specific city names, but you can ask what city they're headed towards, and generally people know that. And when you're in a rural area like I am, sometimes people don't even know that because they don't know the little bitty towns around you. You have to say, I'm pretty far from both of these places, but you have to say something to the effect of, "Are you going towards Texarkana or are you going towards Dallas?" Because even though I'm multiple hours away from these places, they're usually headed to one of those places, and that's places that they know. Everything else in between is smaller towns and cities and communities that they just don't know. So just keep that in mind as you're traveling. Always be sure of where you're at. So this is gonna be pro tip number 3. This is kind of a layered approach because this is gonna be more specific to larger buildings, um, hotels, offices, malls, things like that. So when you have something like that, giving your 123 Main Street is just the beginning of that location. You want to be sure that you give where you're at. So, for instance, you have a medical emergency in a hotel. You want to say, I'm at 123 Main Street. It's the Grand Hotel. We're going to be on the third floor in room number 307, and I'll be in the bathroom there. So, all of those locations, as you've noticed, are layered. It's not just 123 Main Street. I'm at 123 Main Street at the hotel on the third floor in room 307. Also, something to note that when responders get there, you want to make sure you have someone that can give them access to that location. If it's a door code that's required, be sure to give them the door code. If it's something where you're going to have to open the door for them yourself, be sure that you're there to open the door for them when they get there. That way, everything goes smooth and they're saving seconds and minutes as they respond. So, overall, this is just about personal safety and about being aware of your surroundings, situational awareness, and knowing where you're at. Simple things sometimes can help you out. If you know landmarks, that certainly helps in a lot of places, but also keep in mind, let's say you're using McDonald's as a landmark. Understand that a lot of towns have more than one McDonald's. Even smaller towns, such as mine, have multiple McDonald's and multiple chain food restaurants. We have 3 Subways in my town. We have 2 McDonald's. We have all these things that have multiple different locations. So you're going to want to specify which one it is and know the directions and know your local area. You live in a town, you want to know what side of town is the north side, the south side, the east side, the west side. You want to know the area that you're in. So the main thing is just being smart, staying safe, and being prepared for any situation. And when you need to call for emergency services, being ready is always number one about location and where you are. Everything after that, they'll ask you questions. They'll try and get you to take a deep breath. They'll help you out on the rest of it, but they can't always help you out on the directions because 911, while it's great and we have great technologies nowadays, and a lot of the times we can help you, it's not always the case. So just be prepared to always give out your location first. If you're at home alone, specifically, you can teach your kids to do this, or if you're at a friend's house, you might be able to do this. I'm not promising that you'll not get in trouble for this if you're at a friend's house, but if it's saving a life, it's worth it, right? So, for your children, you can teach them if they don't know their address. I mean, of course, teach them to memorize their address, but if they don't know their address, teach them that look for a piece of mail. Everybody has the mail that they have pile up somewhere. Everybody's got a spot for it. Whether that's nice and neat and organized in a bin so you can toss it out or shred it later, or whether it's like most of us heathens that just toss it on the table until it's ready to be thrown out or whatever. Then be sure you know where that mail is and teach them where that mail is. You can always look at a piece of mail because if you have mail, it's something that's been addressed to that location. And you can look for the address quickly on there. It's just something to think about and train your brain to think about whenever an emergency happens. But you can always contact your local PSAP or public safety answering point, which is going to be your local 911 center. Be sure to call the non emergency line and kind of they'll be able to walk you through what kind of information they ask for and how to go through a call. If you get a hold of someone that won't, try again a different day because there's always going to be a dispatcher that loves to teach things like that and loves that you're asking before the emergency happens centers. So, as always, if you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell too and notify yourself whenever I make a video, whenever I do something new. Tell your friends, help me grow a little bit and get this information out to more people that may need it. In the meantime, if you have to dial 911, be sure to dial up those details. I hope you stay safe and I hope you stay prepared, and I'll see you on the next one.